Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up in their names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
So I was scrolling through YouTube, and I saw this YouTuber, Raylan Vlogs. They hit over 300,000 views in just one day, stating that we're selling our house. And it's two gentlemen over there getting ready to sell their house. Now, I haven't seen this YouTube channel before. I'm just looking at the thumbnail. It looks pretty nice. A pretty spacious house, I would assume. And, you know, they seem like popular YouTubers. And I just kind of brought up the thought in my mind of, would I also sell my home? Now, I have an understanding that, you know, there are cycles to home ownership, and it's just based on history. Dave Ramsey has talked about this extensively over several years, and I do find this to be true based on my family situations, my other family member situations, and how other people have lived their lives, and as well as the people who I've bought homes from. And so the first thing I want to say is that the life cycle is typically, okay, you buy your first home and it's typically a starter home. That's why it's called a starter home, right? That starter home allows you to build some equity so that you can possibly get into that home once you have an increase in income, you know, a couple of raises, and you're getting ready to start that family. So with the starter home, you're not necessarily worried about location, you're not worried about schools, you're not worried about anything whatsoever. But in the second home, you're now worried about the location, and you're worried about the school district for your younger children. Once your children are getting ready for like high school maybe, or middle school, you want to now move areas for a better school district, and you probably liked your neighbors in the other area, but now you're moving for the school district only. You're not moving for the neighbors per se. Now, once you move to the new school district for that middle school and high school life of your child, you're now like, okay, we've made it, but you don't like your neighbors all that well. And eventually your children go off to college. Once that last child goes off to college, there are two things that happen. You either get a huge increase because you were so motivated throughout life and you continue to work that you are now in this bigger home, this mini mansion, this mega mansion, or you're looking to downsize on the property. And so that transition, right, to the big mansion, mega mansion, you would eventually either hold that or you would downsize as well. Or if you downsize, you might have just one guest bedroom for any kid that so chooses to come back, and then you know, retirement home after that, or retire back in your country like most of my family members would do. So with that being said, a lot of people right now, for me in my life, they're in that find the best schools for my child phase, and then they'll be in the let's find the better school district for the middle school, high school kids, and a lot more space for them as well, right? And so that is typically what, again, happens. And again, sometimes they move for neighbors, sometimes they move for school districts. It all just depends. With that being said, I can never say never, that I would never sell. But what I will say is it feels good to hold on to something and know that I'm going to start, if not already, earn more equity than the interest that I pay on the mortgages. It also feels good to know that I'm paying it off at a rapid pace. This financial freedom allows me to feel as though once it is paid off, hey, I can just travel, never have to worry about a mortgage payment, never have to worry about a this or that. If someone forgets to pay me or just chooses not to pay me, that's easily handled. A little flight here or there to whatever state, and then I'm going back to whichever other state that I choose to go to. And so creating that financial freedom for myself, super, super important, but also just very, very good. It's just a great feeling. And then over time, I realized that, hey, now I'm in a position to where if I sold one of these homes, I could easily pay off the other. And so, with time, that starts to happen. That starts to creep into your mind. The more money you make or earn or have, it starts to now affect you in more ways than one, right? You start to have new mindsets and new decisions start to formulate. But it's incumbent on me to stick to my goals, my aspirations. The average person holds a home for 5 to 7 years, right, before selling. The average person either sells or refinances their home between 5 to 7 years. And so because I know that fact, my goal is to hold my home for more than 7 years. The reason for that is because if I'm average, I'm broke, right? Because the average person is not a millionaire. The average person is not financially free. The average person becomes a millionaire at 37 years of age. But as for me, I want to break out from being average and I want to be above that. And therefore, I must do things that are above average. Holding a home for more than 7 years is above average. And so that's what I strive to be, understanding those statistics, understanding those data points, and then applying it to my life in order to just benefit myself tremendously, right? The more principal, the more equity I'm getting versus the interest is super, super important. So when people say, hey, your home is an investment, is it really if you sold every 5 to 7 years or refinance every 5 to 7 years? Sure, you can consider it that if it's a rental. But if it's not a rental, then hey, we have some financial issues going on here where you're spending that equity in more ways than one. So with that being said, I have no intentions of any time in the near future, which means in the next 2 to 3 years, of selling any of my properties. I expect within the next 10 years for it to be so much more and worth so much more that it would be extremely tempting not to do so. But at this point in time, I will continue to grit my teeth and hold on for dear life. And I'm going to say I am not selling. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.